Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Nerd Nation. I am Brian, your host for this episode, as always, and I am here today with my friends Keith and Gio. How's it going?
Good. Happy National Superhero Day, is it?
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's kind of the whole entire topic today.
Happy Tuesday, April 28th.
Yes, apparently National Superhero Day. But so we are here to talk a little bit about some Marvel movie changes, obviously with the future of the movies. And then we're going to talk a little superheroes, what our favorite superhero is, and all that, being that it is National Superhero Day. So we thought we'd get a little background since us three are the nerds of this show. And but first, we are going to dive into a little bit of Marvel, because Marvel, not just MCU, Marvel and Sony's Marvel have hit a drastic, obviously, change in their schedule because of the fact that we have no movie theaters right now. So last week we talked about how DC was moving their movie slate, and now we pretty much have an official slate for what Marvel is going to be doing. Most of it is just going to be pushed back and taking the spot of a previous Marvel movie with some new additions. So we're going to go through it. We've known for a while that Black Widow got pushed back. It's supposed to open this Friday, unfortunately. But now it is going to be opening November 6th of this year. Eternals then went from November 6th to February 12th of next year. So meaning we are only going to hopefully at least get one Marvel movie this year. Shang-Chi went from February 12th of next year to May 7th of next year. Spider-Man 3, this was the one that we kind of didn't really know what was going to happen. It went from July 16th to November 5th. And then Thor Love and Thunder went from November 5th to February 11th of 2022. So it is no longer coming next year. It's going to be 2 years from now. And then that also pushed Doctor Strange 2 back from May 7th of 2021 to March 25th of 2022. And then we now have our changed dates for Black Panther 2, which is now May 6th of 2022. And Captain Marvel is going to as well be July 8th of 2022. And that's just the MCU. So if you can wrap your head around it, we do have the Sony, I call it the Sonyverse, but the Sony Marvel universe. We were supposed to be getting two movies this year, which was going to be Morbius in July 31st of this year, has now completely moved to next year, which is coming out March 19th. Venom, Let There Be Carnage, that name, is going from October 2nd of this year to a summer release date of June 25th next year. And last is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2 is going from April 8th of 2022 to a later date in that month. Still that year, though. October 7th of 2022. So, yeah. A whole bunch of moves. But, yeah, what is going to be interesting is next year we are going to have 5, including Sony and Marvel, Sony and MCU, 5 Marvel movies next year.
Yeah.
Wild. 5, and then I think, Gio, correct me if I'm wrong, we're going to have 3 DC next year. So, hoping that everything goes well, we are going to be comic book heavy next year to fill up for this year. What are our thoughts? Are we too much? Overload? Fine with it? What are we thinking?
I'll let you guys start this off.
Go ahead,
Might
Keith.
It could be overload, to be honest. We'll see. But if they're all good, which, and I mean, they're not just law of averages. They're not going to all be good, but if they're all at least okay or
Yes, they will.
watchable, but who knows? Who knows? But even so, it still might be some fatigue with some people because we're talking with those. Like I said, the DC one, that's 8, and whatever else, who knows, whatever kind of surprise thing might pop up, and that's not including all the stuff that's on TV as well. It could be reaching that point. I think the only thing that's going to really not kill, but really slow down the genre is if you get 4 or 5 bad ones, like bad to mediocre ones, then that'll slow it down. But if they're all good and people are still going, and hey, as long as they're just keep making them, people will still go see them. We're all going to see them either way. But
Of course.
it's a lot. It's a pretty ambitious schedule, and that's again pending, depending how everything goes, and with like kind of reopening theaters and distancing in theaters, if that's going to be a thing. Will that how much that will help or hurt box offices and theater capacity and that kind of stuff. But barring all that aside, we'll see. We'll see. Some of these days. Did we get a Black Panther? Did they previously announce a Black Panther 2 date? I don't think they did. An actual date.
I want to say. I think it was the February 11th date.
Oh, was it?
That Thor took. I believe that's what it was.
Okay.
But ironically enough, 3 of those 5 movies next year, I just realized, have to do with some type of Spider-Man spider thing. You've got our 3 next year will be Eternals, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man 3, Morbius, and Venom. So
Shang-Chi getting the May. That's their big.
Shang-Chi took the May.
That's big, man, because that's their big release month.
We'll get Eternals in February, Morbius in March, nothing in April, Shang-Chi in May. Who's June? Venom in June, and then our break until November, which was Spider-Man. So 4 months.
Right.
4
months.
5 months, 4 movies.
4 or 5 or 4 and 5. Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah. But
so
they're gonna market Shang-Chi. It's gonna be marketed heavy. If it's gonna be their May release, they're gonna.
Definitely. Which I'm excited for. That movie.
Me too. That's one of my favorite. I can't wait.
It's gonna be Gio, thoughts?
Y'all finished?
Look, we're excited for Wonder Woman. All right, we can't wait for the Batman. Okay, look,
we're getting the Batman and maybe
that's 2022.
Black Adam. No, I think it was October. I got pushed to October.
June,
yeah.
Or just 21, right? Still 21?
Yeah, October of next year.
Oh, okay.
So in between that long Marvel break, we'll get some DC movies, hopefully.
Sure.
Look, as a consumer who may or may not be feeling shortchanged, why not just release some of these Marvel movies on Disney Plus?
No.
Oh, well,
not like you need the money, Disney.
Disney does need the money right now.
Listen. Need the money has nothing to do with it. They want it. Whether they need it or not, they'll always reach back and pick up another dollar if it's on the ground. They won't.
I'm just saying, I've been reading that Disney fans are looking forward to some content, some stuff, and that's all. I'll leave that at. That's all I'll say. But
none of your DC movies are going to be in the same month of Marvel, so that's good. You guys get a whole month,
right?
Suicide Squad gets August, Batman October, Black Adam December.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I don't know. That's like Keith said, that's a little ambitious. Marvel releasing 5 movies in 1 year.
Yeah.
Who the hell you think you are? Seriously.
Well, you got to figure,
like
Eternals is pretty much probably close to being done. It's got to be it's at least halfway filmed because the movie is coming in November.
Right.
So the
No,
movie's got to be.
It should have been filmed already.
It should have wrapped already. Yeah, they should have
Yeah, like Suicide Squad's done,
Yeah.
and it's not even coming out. It was supposed to come out later this year, wasn't? Or no,
think
beginning
so.
of next
What?
year, something like that. But so I mean, I would assume Eternals. We know Shang-Chi was shooting because there's been pictures of the set and all that. So then Morbius is done because that was going to come out, and then who am I forgetting? Venom was probably close to halfway at least.
Sure, that was
So a majority of them are going to be already done / just need like that post editing. Same with and Batman was like what? Didn't they say like 25% of the way? Something
Right.
like that. So and a lot of these movies are already close to being done.
Obviously, this can go one of two ways. It can work well in Marvel's favor, or it cannot. All right, so let's look at the work well in their favor. People are going to want to go to the movies. There's going to be like a real hunger to go back into the movie theater and watch movies, be somewhere other than your home and just, watch something. But on the flip side, people are also going to want to get out and travel too. They're going to want to go on vacations and, go just travel or whatnot. And so how hungry will people be to see 5 Marvel movies in 1 year? In regards to those Spider-Verse films, they're going to have to really include Spider-Man in the marketing, because otherwise, if
he's even in them.
If they're it's part of the universe, I guess, right? I mean, otherwise, why?
Just still kind of wishy-washy about it. Like,
yeah,
you don't really know. So,
well, to be honest,
if they were smart, yes. But
if there were 5 Marvel movies and I had to prioritize, and I'm talking as somebody who's not really the average viewer, I'm into this stuff.
Sure.
I'm prioritizing the Marvel movies first
over the Sony ones.
The Sony ones.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
Sony's going to have to get some sort of advantage, and the only advantage that they would have in such stiff competition with Marvel and DC. Don't forget, like, DC, even though they're only having like 3 films released, these are heavy hitters.
Oh, absolutely.
One is led by Dwayne Johnson. That right there is secure and safe. I'm not worried about. Nobody should be worried about that. Another one,
it's Batman. it's the number 1 guy.
Batman. Yeah. You think Batman's worried about Morbius? No.
No, not at all.
No. So
the only person that probably takes the biggest hit out of this is Sony, because Morbius wasn't the trailer. People were like, okay, so like whatever. So to me, you either fix that and make it more exciting, or it's gonna be Venom's gonna pull people just because of the name. The Venom alone, and the fact that Carnage is going to be in it. Those 2 alone will pull the names. It's not. It Maybe. Probably will be. I don't think it's going to explode over what it did last year. Might make a little more. Might make a little less. Yeah. I mean, it's give or take. But to be honest, DC's movie slate's pretty strong next year. I mean, Suicide Squad is going to be like.
People had fun with Suicide Squad. Like, it wasn't the best, but people had fun with it. When they see Viola Davis on screen again, and I'm sure they're going to market Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, like, they're going to be sucked right back in, because those are the best parts about the first movie.
If they're smart,
it's going to be a crazy soundtrack. Like, that's what James Gunn. That's been his thing.
Exactly, and that's what I was going to say. If they're smart. They market the fact that, hey, this guy did Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Look at how that turned out. Can you imagine how good our movie's going to be when it's violent and stuff? So I personally think DC's going to kill it next year. I think next year is the year that they say, like, hey, we're here to compete. we're gonna make good movies, because I mean, you have Suicide Squad. What? Don't.
Oh, no, I was going to say.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Keith.
I was just gonna say, because you have James Gunn. He's gonna make a good movie.
Yeah.
Matt Reeves directing Batman. It's gonna be a good movie. I don't know anything about the director, but Black Adam, but The Rock's pretty solid in everything he does.
It's going to make money. Regardless.
Exactly. So, I mean, either way, those movies to me are going to be safe. The ones that are the biggest question marks are the Sony movies to me. Because Marvel's going to pull crap no matter what. I mean,
so in order for all these films to come out on their dates on next year, their announced dates, there's going to be an opportunity to either shoot these movies or can finish shooting these movies, because I think sometime during the summer, our economy and our public places will open back up for a time being. And again, I'm not an expert. I just listen to the doctors, and they're saying that there could be this this virus could be seasonal, whereas it goes away during the
second
peak summer
wave.
Right, a second wave, and which I'll get to in just a second. But if that's true, and the science is pointing to it being true, then these studios are going to have a short window to either complete these movies or shoot them all the way through. It's going to have to be a fast shoot. And in regards to the seasonal virus, if it does come back in the wintertime, what about those movies that were, towards the end of the year, the beginning of the year, January, February, maybe March? Do those movies get pushed again?
I think the biggest thing is getting those movies finished.
Right.
That, because if you're like Black Widow right now, you're just waiting for a good opportunity. Same with Suicide Squad. They've already said that most of the stuff they're doing at home, like you can edit that movie at home and stuff. If you can get to that editing at home phase, then it's just a waiting game. And when is it going to work?
Well, I think the earliest, safest date to release a movie and for it to make its maximum would be next summer. Once the seasonal flu virus, if it is a seasonal virus, goes away again, and then at that time we have a vaccine, then people can start going to the movies with confidence and whatnot. But what if this thing comes back in the wintertime and doesn't, let up until
it's even worse,
spring, or it's even worse, who's to say these movies don't get pushed again? Like it's
if we ever see them,
we don't know. That's the thing.
The big question mark. Yeah, you're right.
Well, I mean, this is the most speculative of like talking movies that we've ever talked about, because these release dates are nice, but what happens if things take a turn for the worse or whatnot? Then you're looking at 2022.
Yeah.
I think if at all.
Actors get old. Directors might want to move on to different projects. Who knows?
Or no, actors, whoever, the crew, people themselves might get sick and affected. We might, hope God forbid, but we've seen some entertainers being affected. Some of them, we had the lead singer of Fountains of Wayne passed away, and Tom Cruise and his wife getting it, and thankfully they're okay. But
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. Tom Cruise will never ever get sick.
Tom Cruise is gonna outrun the virus.
Yeah. Yes. And you mentioned like people were kind of working from home and compositing and editing and doing post-production at home, and that's why I was a little surprised about the Spider-Verse date, because animation people can do a lot of that in their homes for the most part. I know obviously there's voice work you got to do, and I guess all you need is a studio. I guess maybe one or two people in the studio to record voices, but I was surprised that moved because a lot of it seems like with animation and a lot of those artists and people that work on that could probably do it from home or in a isolated situation. But
well, listen, if you're gonna make a sequel to a movie that good and you want to make it as good as that first one, you take all the damn time you need, in my opinion.
I would agree. I would agree with you.
Exactly.
But I'm just worried that we won't make it till then.
Yeah.
I'm just not making it that far.
Yeah,
you're
right. If we're looking good and we need to push that one a little bit and you're going to give me quality like I just got, you take all the dang time you need because I'm going to love that movie just as much. So, but yeah, any other thoughts? Whole new movie slate, whole new ball game next year. Going to be damn near comic books every month if this goes right.
Right. Hopefully everything's okay and it all holds, and it will be a fun year if it's all good.
I mean, honestly,
we'll be busy.
Yeah. Yes. Not to mention, there's still other movies we have to see.
Right. Actual normal movies.
Exactly.
Not to mention Disney Plus.
Yeah. That's a whole nother thing. We still don't even know what's going on with those Disney shows.
Right.
But
that's right.
Yeah, with Marvel, I mean, worst comes to worst, I have a feeling that they'll do the exact same thing they did right now, and just move everyone's movie to the next person's slot. So like Eternals would go from February to May, and then it just trickles down again, and then Captain Marvel 2 just has to get a new movie date, essentially. But all right,
or not happen.
What? No, she's gonna lead the Avengers from here on out. She's definitely getting a movie. But yeah, all right. So we are going to talk a little bit about superheroes. Today is National Superhero Day, and we're going to talk a little bit about our all-time favorites and why they are our favorites, a power we wish we could have, all that fun stuff. But our first one is going to be, who is your all-time favorite superhero, comic book, or geek character? I'm going to stick with superhero just because I'll probably stick with super whatever just because that's the theme of the day. Comic book, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, anyone prefer to go first? I mean, I can go. I don't care.
I mean, it's if we're talking about our favorite, I have two that I really like.
Let's do this. One, pick a Marvel and pick a DC.
Perfect. Okay, so DC, for me, it's Batman. I mean, for all the reasons that he's liked, he's just your non-superpowered, crime fighter who can always find a way to take down his villains. The rule of thumb when going against Batman is you never want to give him time to prepare. Even an hour is dangerous because he'll figure something out and he'll find a way. And then, of course, he's the billionaire playboy, and having all this cool Wayne tech and Alfred, his butler. I mean, there's been so many cool, awesome versions of Alfred. From Jeremy Irons, Michael Caine, and then I forget the actor's name who played him in the Tim Burton, Val Kilmer, and George Clooney films.
Alfred?
That guy was,
Michael Goff, something like that.
I feel like it's almost correct.
I don't know if that's pronounced. It's like Goff with a G.
Yeah. So not only that though, but I mean, just again, he's not as flashy as Iron Man, but he has just as cool gadgets. His Bat Belt and Batmobile, and then not to mention his Rogues Gallery. Probably arguably the richest in comic book, all of comic books. So that Batman is my DC favorite. And for Marvel, it's Cyclops.
Michael Gough was who Alfred was.
G-O-U. Okay. Yeah, great. Great actor.
However,
did a great job.
However the fancy name is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Marvel, it's Cyclops.
Cyclops, huh? Really?
Leader
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, like I grew up watching, and this is where the root of my comic book fandom comes from. It's not the actual comics. It was growing up watching the 90s animated TV
series?
shows
On
Fox. So Spider-Man, X-Men, and
all
then
the ones that are on Disney Plus right now.
And then the animated Batman series too. That was a big one of my childhood.
Good call.
Yeah, DC makes fantastic animated
Stuff,
cartoon, anything. They're
movies, shows.
Yeah. So for me, Cyclops. First of all, his outfit in the animated series, also
the blue and yellow,
the blue with the yellow belt,
so dope.
And even his name is cool, Scott Summers. Like that's
and it's a total like bro name,
right? He has, and then him being the leader of the X-Men,
Southern California kind of.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with the X-Men films was how they handled his character. They made the focal point of Wolverine, which Wolverine is important for the X-Men.
Okay.
But Cyclops is such a great leader, a great character, a lot of depth, and
he is.
Yeah, he's just an awesome character. So those are my two favorites.
Okay. Keith, you want to go or you want?
He was definitely just wrote this super fast.
Yeah, no.
He definitely played down in the movies, Cyclops, and it was because James Marsden is so great. He's really
I was going to say he's a good Cyclops. He didn't get enough.
It's just I agree. A lot of those characters were, and I don't know. I have a weird kind of love-hate thing with the X-Men movies, but I'm with you on Cyclops. He's a much more rich and. In terms of leadership, he's completely agree, and they didn't tap into that enough. But mine it's Batman. I mean, that's always a kid. Batman. It's just Batman. Period. Number one for everything. That's why I get so passionate about Batman. How he can sometimes is portrayed on film. Like I said, for the most part, I've liked them all. I was thinking about the other day. Imagine if George Clooney. Like, as much as that movie's terrible, we know. But, like, George Clooney was Batman, right? Like, that's crazy.
He was good.
If they cast him now, like, if they were making... You can imagine him, like, in the Ben Affleck, as that Ben Affleck version. Like, George Clooney playing that role, that'd be awesome. Like, I would love to see that again. It'll never happen, of course. No. But I'd love to see him get another crack at Batman. That would be really great. But, yeah... Everything you said. I mean, I would disagree a little bit, though, Gio. I would say he is as flashy, if not more than Iron Man. Listen, Iron Man was a B, C level character until the movies. Batman was the guy, right? I mean, they're both. I mean, obviously, Iron Man's around forever, and they're both very similar. But Robert Downey Jr. kind of made him what he is now. But I would argue, just throughout history, definitely Batman was the one. I mean, the Green Arrow was a blatant copy of Batman. When he came out in the late 30s or whatever. Like let's make another one. Like every comic character was some rich person who went out at night fighting crime, and like you said, it's everything. Just he's the most iconic hero. You could argue maybe Spider-Man has kind of caught up to him a little bit over the years. But he's got the most iconic, like you said, the most iconic villain, and probably all the others along with them. Even some of the lesser known ones. You look at Court of Owls, or I don't know who else.
Man-Bat, Clayface.
Oh yeah, right. All those guys. I mean,
look at Harley Quinn.
Man-Cross.
Sure.
Harley Quinn exploded.
Created on the animated series. On the Batman series.
There she is.
That's
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
She, I mean, right. In some capacities, she's more popular sometimes than the Joker. That's fair to say. Sure. I mean, it's
today. I mean, right now, sure. Maybe. You can make that argument.
In Suicide Squad, they literally
maybe
said
not movie-wise.
She's more dangerous than the Joker.
She killed Robin.
Hey, she said herself, "You don't need to be scared of him. You need to be scared of me. You should fear me," or whatever she said. But
she's the one. It said it in the thing. She was the one that killed Robin, not Joker.
And I'd like to see Batman didn't have to be in Birds of Prey at all. I'm glad he wasn't, but I would like to see those two face each other at some point. They don't have to fight necessarily, but I'm sure. I mean, it seems like they're setting it up where like she beat one of his villains. You think, I don't know, who knows? But Batman. He's talking about Batman himself, though. Everything from I grew up as a kid with the animated series. I mean, not the animated series, the 60 series, which of course, that's what popularized him for sure.
Adam West.
Yeah. Yes, that's as iconic as anything we have in this entire genre. Oh man, like everyone knows that, right? Everyone knows that song. And,
Pow,
pow, bang, zoom, zap, whack, crash, all that stuff.
So funny.
Or holy this or holy that, Batman, this, that, whatever. Like, and all the way up to the Burton film, the first one, which you can argue whether or not it holds up, but it's a classic either way. It was the biggest thing. That thing was my whole world, man. I was 10 years old when it came out, and I thought it was the greatest thing I'd ever seen in my life. It was the first movie I ever went back and saw multiple times. I saw it 3 times in theaters, and
man, to be there during that time, 1989, and just
it was bad. It was like
Nicholson.
It was the biggest. I'm telling you, it was the biggest thing ever. Like it was everywhere. The Prince soundtrack, which I know a lot of people it was a little out of place looking back on it now, but it was fun at the time. I mean, it was Batman stuff was everywhere. It was all over all the shows were referencing it. It was a crazy thing. It really kind of set us on the path where we are right now. So yeah, Batman would be my DC one. My Marvel one, if I had to pick one, because there were 2 that I loved. Well, 3. Spider-Man, because everyone loves Spider-Man, of course. He was never my number 1. I was a big Thor fan as well as a kid, because I love that hammer so much. I always loved the idea that he fought with this hammer and shot lightning and he could fly, and he talked he sounded like a King James Bible Shakespeare kind of guy. I love the way he speaks.
Got the helmet with the feather, or not the feather.
The little, yes.
On it.
I loved all that. I was a big Thor fan, especially when him and Hercules would get together, because they would just show up. They were friends, but they would punch each other in the face, and greet each other by punching each other in the face, and then go off on their crazy adventures, talking trash to each other about who's the strongest or whatever. But my number 1 guy, though, in Marvel's always been Wolverine. For the most part, big Wolverine guy as a kid. I didn't read a lot of Marvel comics. The way I learned about all these characters was collecting the trading cards. I had Marvel trading cards. That's how I learned about all this stuff. And I was a big Wolverine collector. I had a bunch of Wolverine cards, Wolverine everything. I had this, just the claws, the fact that he's got this metal skeleton and he's invincible, and he was always kind of this gruff loner, but he would be a team guy when necessary. He was definitely dependable. And same thing, the animated series every week. At the time, it was coming on Saturdays, or at least when I was watching it, when it was coming on Saturdays. So, yeah, man, I was sitting there every week, waiting to see what crazy thing the X-Men were getting into. Stupid Sabretooth would always show up somewhere out of the blue literally just to fight him and mess up whatever the X-Men are trying to go save the world, and here comes Sabretooth with his beef with Wolverine. Like he's like, I gotta deal with this guy. He's got to fight him for a few minutes, and then that would lead him down some other path. And the whole thing.
His claws made.
I'm telling you, that's
shing.
Favorite thing, man. I loved it. That classic cover. I think it was Frank Miller where he had the cover where he's got his claws up and his other hand is doing this with the little hand. It's such a cool comic book cover. I was a big Wolverine guy, and come on, I mean Hugh Jackman. Well, I had no idea he was a big song and dance guy before X-Men. I'd never heard of him, but there's very few castings that have been more perfect than him as
very true.
Any comic character as Wolverine. As bad as that X-Men Origins movie was, if you're just watching for him, it's great. He's great in it.
Look at Logan.
As Logan, right?
There
you go.
Even the Wolverine.
And the Wolverine's great. I love the Wolverine. I think it's really good. I love that movie. And his portrayal has been great. So I'm really, really anxious to see who will the next one be, if they use him at all, and where they're going to take that character, because that's one of the most iconic characters that Marvel, if not the most iconic character Marvel has, other than Spider-Man. So, but yeah, Wolverine was my guy also. So.
All right, I will quickly go through mine so that we can get to our other ones.
Yes.
My first, and I mean, growing up, there was only one superhero really, and it might be shocking to you that was my favorite guy. It always was this guy right here, Green Lantern, was always my favorite growing up. Always. He was just the whole idea of like different colors and just like the space, just everything. Like there's different rings for different moods, which have different powers. One could be stronger than the other. One could be make you weaker. They're like space police, and it was just so. I think it was the first one that really, just because it's just so vast. It's literally galaxies and universes. Like, I mean, it just keeps going and going and going. So Green Lantern was always one of my favorites. He was probably solid number one up until Ryan Reynolds ruined it with that movie, and then it was kind of like, oh, Green Lantern's your favorite? Oh, okay. But that's changed. He'll eventually come back and do something, or not him, but the character will come back and do something great. But hopefully, what? No,
Snyder Cut.
No, the new TV show. That's what's going to bring it back.
Did they say? I don't remember. I didn't watch it. I don't mind being spoiled unless Gio doesn't want to know. But did they say John Diggle was? Did they hint that Diggle?
Yeah, was pretty much. He opened the box and a green light flashes.
Green.
Okay.
So yeah, it was pretty much hinted. And then my Marvel guys, Captain America. He's just such. It was just so funny because if you know me, I always usually pick like the villains and the dastardly bad guys and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think it was just he's just so like upstanding gentleman, but also faced with some pretty rough stuff, and just like I don't know, his costume's dope, and he throws a dope shield. Like I could go on with Captain America too, but I mean, he's just his character is so awesome because there's more to him than just the superhero. And that, like, he's literally like half superhero, half normal person, and wants that normal life, knows he can't. So it's like that struggle, and he's just a dope character. And those two will always be my number one and number twos my number ones for each. But love those two characters. But yeah.
One thing I love Cap. But first of all, I would say. Chris Evans and what Marvel's done with him, that character has made it, because people kind of like, oh, Captain America, he was corny, he's kind of like this goofy.
I was one of the biggest opponents of Chris Evans taking Captain America. When they first did that, I had are you?
I didn't mind, but I was like, really, the green or the Fantastic Four dude, like he's
I was furious. I was like, he was horrible as the Human Torch, and blah, 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 blah. But
I thought he was a good Human Torch for what they wanted.
Was the best part of
the movies were. Yeah, him and
Victor Von Doom. Michael Chiklis as the thing.
I like the thing. Yeah, see, I didn't like Doom, but no, listen, Cap. The thing I say about him, and he's really grown. He's risen really high for me over the years as well. Mostly, obviously, just because of Chris Evans, but unbendable moral compass, which is my favorite thing about him. Like he's been the new Superman, to be honest, and he is what they should be doing with Superman. It should be this is what they've done with him, and hopefully they can figure that out. But yeah, I'm with you there. I absolutely grown to love Captain America very much over the years.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go quicker through this one because our last topic's the best one. Is next is, if you could have one superpower, what would it be and why? Why this power? But I'll go through mine because I know mine's quick. Teleport. I hate, if
Like
you
Jumper?
know me. Sure. I've never seen that, so I don't know. But I think don't they literally just poof into spots?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me that, because
he says it's either any place he has either been to, or like if he could see a picture of it, he can teleport to that
perfect. If you know me,
do that
I hate traveling. I absolutely hate it. It's my biggest pet peeve. Hate it. So if I could I'm there, perfect. That would not. It's literally the one that's always been like, people have always been like, what's never changed. Always that one. Maybe the second one would have been like Iceman's power, just because it's kind of dope. But teleporting has always been my number one, no question.
Would you turn all ice? Like, would you be all ice, or would you just do it?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
No.
totally. I mean, yeah,
full ice man.
Absolutely. And then
they waited all the way till when they finally did that in Days of Future Past. I was
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started.
Nah, they did it in X-Men: The Last Stand.
He did it for a second. Yeah.
For a second.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Iceman.
Yeah, teleport.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. Who wants to go next?
Go ahead, Keith.
All right. This is a tough one because I'd love to be a speedster. The Flash.
Ooh.
I've always thought about that one a lot. Just because I would just do stuff in 10 seconds and have the rest of my day.
That's not a bad one.
That's not.
That's based. You could do other things with my power. I mean, get there in 2 seconds.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. Oh, which one of those would I rather? I don't know. Yeah. I would like running. I like to just run. I would just freak people out by just like, and I come back with a
laundry. Done.
He's dead. Exactly. That's the stuff I think about. Exactly. But no. Well, one of my favorite. You mentioned villains. One of my favorite comic book characters. Period. And we were talking about heroes, so I guess I could have maybe gone with him, but I just went with the heroes. But one of my favorite characters is Magneto, and so I would love to have those powers there and manipulate metal like that. I've always wanted to. Yeah, I've always wanted to do that. I don't know that I'd like to think that I'd be a good guy. I think I would. I'd probably be kind of like the Punisher, though. I might be doling out some heavy-handed justice.
I like it.
Yeah, so
that's good.
I'm kind of admittedly, and this is not a proud thing. I can be.
We all have our bad tendencies.
Yes, so I'd probably
fair enough.
Wouldn't always use it for good sometimes, but
yeah, why not?
I'd be like Amanda Waller.
There you go. What are you, Gio? What's your power?
Well, I was gonna go with Magneto, but Keith kind of took that one. I mean, I feel you on that, Keith. I mean, I just imagine me driving down the road, some a-hole cuts me off, and I'm just like,
yes, that's what I'm talking about.
See ya.
That's exactly what I mean.
Or yeah, right. I mean, the temptation. Yeah,
that's exactly
no,
what I had in mind.
No.
Just lift your car away and put it over on the
pop
side
your
of the
tire
road.
by like turning your ram or something.
Your
rotors.
Yes.
Oh man. We're anti-heroes, Keith.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But
yeah,
I'd probably go with somewhere between Shazam or Black Adam. Like I want to be a normal person for the most part until you piss me off, and then I go boom, I need Shazam. Like,
that's fair.
Say that again. What'd you say? Or something like that. Yeah. I mean, because then you have all the powers of Shazam, right? He's pretty much Superman. I forget the acronym. Yeah, but
sure. Adult Shazam. Would you, or do you want to be a kid? You want to be a kid and turn to a grown up, or
no? I'm just. This is my twist on it. I'm just.
Okay. He'd be you, and then
yeah. Yeah,
That's fair.
mid to late 20s, and you know.
That's
yeah.
fair.
Right.
All right. Sweet. All
That's a
right,
good one. I
So
didn't think of that.
that is a very good one. I like that one too. That didn't even come close to crossing my mind.
Yeah.
So our last one is since it's National Superhero Day, our last is, what does the comic book genre mean to you and just entire geek culture? I'll go first. It almost for me is like a home away from home. Like it it takes my mind out of anything that's going on, anything that's bugging me, or just where I want to transport into a world that I wish I could live in. Like just these people that have these awesome abilities with these dastardly villains, and you're always trying to stop them, but sometimes they get the upper hand, but more than likely the good guys are going to prevail. But yeah, I mean, it just takes you to that world where you think, oh, if I had that power, that'd be so dope. Like, or what would I do with that one? That's why I buy every video game or anything that I could play along with it. Even the Legos, like the Lego ones I play. And just because it's like just that little bit of controlling that power and being that person. And it's a world outside of our world that maybe one day we'll have superpowers, but for right now, this is where we are with it. And it just, I mean, there's nothing better than being a nerd, just because, like, I mean, there's so much more nerds than you could possibly imagine, and people that you think are nerds are probably some of the coolest people. And honestly, some of the people that you think are too cool for this stuff are the biggest nerds. So it's funny because I'll throw Jake into this, but when I first met Jake at Sac State, it looked like your typical baseball player, blah, 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 blah. I would have never thought he was that into Star Wars, stuff like that. So you just can't judge people. I mean, and that's what's kind of cool is, for the most part, if there's so many more people that are into this than you think, and it's I love it. It's a world away from your own. So yeah.
Well, everybody is a nerd about something.
Absolutely.
So that's why just whatever. Like just it's sports. Some people it's sports. Some people
who love fantasy football study football players.
Absolutely.
Like nobody's business. So business analysts, they're nerds for corporate numbers and stuff like that. So
yeah, whatever.
It's not just pop culture.
Right.
Absolutely.
Music.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because, I mean, you get, when you're in elementary school and all that, you get called nerd and it's offensive. Nowadays, I'm like, you're damn right. I wish I could go back and tell younger me, like, say, hell yeah, you're a nerd. Like, yeah. So, because in the end of it doesn't matter at the end of the day. You get to do your own thing. I fulfilled my childhood dream of going to Comic-Con, and I couldn't even move around because there were so many nerds around me that were like me. So it's so awesome because you're not alone. Look at how hard it is to buy movie tickets.
Right. It's the biggest stuff in the world right now. It's the most popular stuff. Like, yeah, whether it's you mentioned video games or movies or TV shows, like everyone's talking about I don't know what, The Mandalorian. Like everyone's talking about The Mandalorian.
Even people that aren't big on Star Wars.
People that are getting into that kind of stuff, right? Yeah, so you're absolutely right. Yeah, same thing, man. If I'd go back, and me and a lot of us, even some of the girls, like we all watched. A lot of people watched like X-Men or whatever, and there was a lot of us were into it. But yeah, it wasn't like it is now, where like if you were seen with a comic book, like you were like, maybe that's why I didn't read comics as much. Like I said, I just collected the cards. Absolutely. And now that I think about that, but yeah, man, look, it's modern day. It's modern day mythology, Greek mythology, or that too. Absolutely. All that, fairy tales, Greek, Roman mythology. Like this is our version of that, and it's stuff that will endure for decades and decades, as it already has. But even further, like this stuff's not like these stories. These are stories of worlds, like you said, that we wish we could live in, or people that we wish we could be, or a lot of these characters like a Captain America or a Superman or Wonder Woman that represent the best of us, what we should aspire to be. I don't know. I've never wanted. See, I'm different. See, I never wished I could live in these worlds. I never been like, I wish I could live. No, because there's always something terrible happening, and
I wouldn't. No offense, Gio. I wouldn't want to live in a DC world because when stuff goes bad there, it goes bad.
Someone's always trying to take over a city.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of a little sirens.
There's always some kind of horrible. Gotham City would be the worst place in the world.
Never. No, I was just about to say I don't think I could ever survive in Gotham City.
I don't want to.
It's cheap.
I don't want to live in probably. I don't want to live in Marvel, New York either, though, man. That's it's good.
Come on, you got stuff going. You can go see Doctor Strange down the street.
Yeah, but then there's
Spider-Man might swing by.
Embassy. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Take a picture of him flying by, but no, these are. Yeah, it's just like I said. That's why I always looked at it, man. It's like our modern mythology. It's stuff that, like for me, I've never like forced it on my kids, but it's stuff that I've been into so much, and they would watch it along with me, and now they're all into it, and which makes me very happy, you know.
And boys and girls, that's what's even
boys and girls
better.
Doesn't my daughter, she wants to be a comic book artist, or she's talked about it. You know, I've talked to her about or maybe work at Lucasfilm one day, or Pixar. Perfect.
Yeah, hope she does. For our sake, I hope she does.
Me too. Yes.
What about you, Gio?
Oh, it was the same thing along the lines of Keith. You know, it's the symbolism within the characters. You know, whether it's Superman being a beacon of hope, you know, to always have hope, or it's Batman teaching you to overcome your fears and use it. You know, use it. Think of it as like a tool, or Wolverine. You know, teaching you about both immortality and mortality. You know, the importance of life. You know, it's nice to live forever, but it's
at what cost?
At what cost exactly?
And appreciate the time you have.
Yeah. So it's just, and especially in modern movies, you know, like they give us so much more than what we see on screen. You know, the themes, whether it's the Man of Steel theme, you know, or the Winter Soldier theme, or, you know, the Avengers theme. You know, these are things these are sounds that people listen to that give them that feeling, you know, of whatever it may be, hope, inspiration.
Real quick, and just you mentioned that John Williams Superman theme is the most iconic piece. My son, he's right here. When he was little, this is when Superman, the Brandon Routh one was coming out, 05, I guess, maybe. He was, I don't know, whatever year that was, I don't know, but I remember buying that movie on Blu-ray, or excuse me, on DVD at the time, DVD.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. When he was like maybe 2, and he would hear the Superman theme. Anytime he heard the Superman theme, and he had no idea, but he would hear it, and he would stand there with his hands like on his that Superman pose, like that. It would just automatically do that just from hearing that. He's a little 2-year-old boy, you know. So you're right. Yeah, you feel that. You feel that when you hear it. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah, it just makes you want to be the best version of yourself. You know. So yeah, that's pretty much how I see comic book characters, superheroes. Yeah,
it's important. It's an important representation because all these people see these things. I mean, look at the way Marvel is now shifting their diversity. We've got Captain America passing the mantle from a traditional white character to someone that is black. We are getting movies with an all Asian cast. I mean,
you have a Pacific Islander Aquaman.
Right.
Exactly. One of the most well-known traditional characters, white white guy, blonde hair, blue eyes, is now a Pacific Islander and beloved.
Right.
Beloved. People love him.
Israeli Wonder Woman. Yeah, Wonder
Exactly.
Woman's from Israel.
So it definitely, representation is a huge thing, and luckily this has definitely helped pave ways for a lot of that, because it inspires kids, adults, anyone. So very important. That's why I take offense personally when all these people say things along the lines of like, oh, comic books stuff is ruining blah blah blah, because it's like, just because maybe it's not your thing isn't fair to say that for everyone else, because it means a lot more to us than maybe it does you, and let that person enjoy what they're getting. So but yeah, got a little deep at the end, but that's okay. But that's what we wanted.
Super fast.
Yeah.
Along those lines, I have somebody I work with who just always is. Movies come up or we bring up Avengers Endgames, always is bashing that scene where all the ladies all get together.
Don't even get me started with that.
And I get every time, and I'm like, listen, man, like, and he has a daughter, and I'm like, dude, did your daughter like that scene? Like, is it pandering a little bit? Yes, sure. Like, why would they all be there at that moment? Who cares?
Yeah,
who cares? It's like it's a thing that we've never seen before. We've never seen all these powerful superhero character women all get together in one space and destroy everything in sight. So it's awesome. And like you said, it means something to so many people that love that scene around the world. So who cares?
Exactly. So that is going to do it for us today for Nerd Nation. National Superhero Day is the day that we are celebrating today here at Apocaflix Movies. But let us know down below. I just realized I've let that little streamer go for way too long across the bottom. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you enjoy the same things that we do? What makes you a nerd? What makes you love comic books and that whole genre? And you can even tell us what you think about the Marvel movie slates coming up. There's 5 movies, too much next year with everything else. But more importantly, let us know what you think about all that comic book stuff we talked about towards the end. But for Apocaflix Movies, I am Brian. That is Gio. That way. That is Keith. And we will see you guys next week. Enjoy your day, and happy National Superhero Day.